Hello, everybody. Welcome back. This is Vocab Marathon number 4. We've made it to term number 3. I hope you're still with us. I'm Richard. I'm happy to be with you again. And of course, here is my good friend, Mia.
Hi, I'm Mia. Hello, guys. Nice to see you again. And I hope you enjoyed a lot during the summer vacation.
Okay, so Mia, we've got 3 different terms that we're going to talk about today. Could you introduce those terms to us?
Okay, thanks, Richard. And today we have 3 words and phrases. A first word, actually 3 words. They have all similar meanings. And critical, crucial, essential. And the second one is eradicate. And the last one is cruel.
Okay, great. Now, like Mia said, our first term that we're going to talk about is actually 3 different words, and they all have very similar meanings. But what I want to do is I want to try to explain what the difference is between those 3. Okay, so let's take a look quickly at how they're used in your second article. Okay, so if we take a look at the use of critical, crucial, and essential from your second article, our first example, it's today, many Japanese business leaders recognize women's empowerment as critical for corporate growth. Okay, so we can see that recognizing women's empowerment is critical, is very important for corporate growth. For the companies to grow in the future, we need to recognize women's empowerment. Okay, so keep that in mind, something important for the future. Our next word, crucial, here's the example. Accordingly, it is crucial to minimize work exemption and instead allow women to return to their full-time jobs as early as possible. This is similar to critical, right? Crucial means it's important to do this now for the future, to affect what will happen in the future. Now, our third word is essential. Let's take a look at the example. Work style reform is essential both to secure the continuation of women's careers during the childcare period and to improve their chances of career development and promotion. So here we see essential means it's very important and it's necessary. It's one of the basic things that we need. Let's go a little deeper. So from the BBC News, our example here, the headline says, Newport plant critical to easing microchip shortage, says boss. Right now, there is a shortage of microchips, semiconductors. There's not a good supply, right? If we build this plant will be very important to end that shortage, to create more microchips. Okay, and then in the first sentence, the same idea. A South Wales factory could prove critical to addressing the global shortage of semiconductors. So the future of semiconductors is affected by what we're doing. This is important to affect that future. Does that make sense, Mia?
Yeah, I got it.
You got it. Good. Let's take a look at the word crucial. This one comes from the OECD.org, an economy website. The headline says, building confidence crucial amid an uncertain economic recovery. Okay, so right now we're trying to have a recovery for the economy, but it's uncertain. We're not sure. We're not sure what's going to happen. It's very important for us to build confidence in order to make sure that we can do that. To affect the future, we need to build our confidence. Okay, so let's see. And in the article, we can see it says similar idea. Building confidence will be crucial to ensure that economies recover. Okay. Now let's look at the third word that has this similar meaning. And here we've got the difference between those other 2 words. Essential. From the Voice of America, the VOA News, U.S. envoy urges progress on Ethiopia peace talks aid. Okay, so the first sentence here says, Tigray itself is lacking in food, fuel, and essential services such as electricity, communications, and banking. So essential services are the basic things that are necessary. Electricity, communications, banking, right? These are fundamental. These are the basic things that are needed. So can you understand generally the difference there between critical, crucial, and essential? What do you think, Mia?
Yes, I think I understand. Maybe I could say studying English is crucial for our future careers.
That's a perfect example. That's a perfect example. Yes.
And essential, like for example, like water and air are essential to like human beings.
Exactly correct. That's exactly correct. Thank you very much. I think you understood that very well. All right. So one more time, just in case you didn't get it, let's take a look here. We can see the difference here. If we check back to our original slide here, critical and crucial, both of these are very important because what happens in the future depends on it. Essential, these things are extremely important and necessary, right? You cannot live without water.
That's right.
Oh, okay. Whew. All right, we got through that one. Now, one last thing I want to mention about this before we move on to our next term is, for your reference, the word critical. You might recognize that word critical. Have you heard that word before, Mia?
Yes, I know the criticize meaning.
Exactly, the criticize meaning. And you also know critical thinking from our class.
Thinking, yeah.
Yes. But you gave the good example that we criticize something. We give an opinion about something, right? Criticize something, you give a strong opinion about something, right? So that's a different meaning from our meaning here today. English is sometimes confusing and sometimes words have very different meanings around them. Verb or adjective or noun. Okay, are you feeling good about that, Mia? Can we move forward to the next term?
Yes, let's move forward.
Let's move forward. All right, good people. Our next word is eradicate. So, Mia, could you introduce the meaning of this word to us?
Yes, thank you. And the meaning of eradicate is to get rid of something completely or destroy something bad.
Good. Eradicate. So it means to get rid of something that we don't want. Let's look at our examples. Our first example comes from the Japan Times. And here we see Yoshiki says, our focus should be on the environment and eradicating poverty, not destroying Ukrainian cities. Okay, so poverty is a bad thing. We want to get rid of it completely. We want to eradicate poverty. We want to end poverty. Let's look at our second example here. This one's a little bit more complicated. Now, this one comes from The Guardian. And as you can see, we've actually got a verb and a noun use in the title. New Zealand to embark on world's largest feral predator eradication. Do you know what a feral predator is, Mia?
No, I don't know. What is that?
Okay, so the word feral means like a wild animal.
Oh, wild animal.
A wild animal. A feral animal is a wild animal that's not a domesticated. A predator is like a hunter animal. A feral predator is a wild animal that eats other animals. So let's take a look at the text here. New Zealand conservationists are embarking on the largest attempt ever made to eradicate introduced predators from an inhabited island. So on this island, there are predators. There are animals that are eating other animals on the island. They want to get rid of all of these predators.
Mm-hmm. Oh, what is the meaning of introduced predators?
Oh, that's a good question, Mia. Introduced predators means these animals are not native animals. They come from another place. They were brought to the island by some people, maybe on purpose, maybe by accident, but we say introduced. So New Zealand is like Japan. It's an island, and originally they didn't have many predators. So many of the animals on New Zealand are a little bit weak. If you bring a predator, you introduce a predator from a foreign country and bring it here, that predator easily eats all the local animals, the native animals. The ecosystem will be broken. So New Zealand wants to eradicate all of these animals. They want to get rid of all of the introduced predators because they're dangerous to the local animals.
Oh, I see.
Okay, okay. Let's move on. Let's move on to our last word today. And that word is fuel. Probably you know the word, the noun, right?
Yeah, and I've learned global warming has been caused by burning fossil fuels. So I think fuel is the energy to burn something. Is it right?
That's right. Right. So you've got a good idea. We're not going to use the noun version. We're going to use the verb version of fuel today. So let me show you how we do that. So keep that idea in mind of energy to burn.
Okay.
Could you read out the definition of the verb meaning of fuel for us here?
Yeah, sure. And the meaning is to make something, especially something bad, become worse or more intense.
Now, as a verb, if I put fuel into my car, I make the car go. And so in this case, usually, especially something bad, right? Something bad is happening. I fuel it and I make it worse. Okay, so let's look at some examples. Our first example comes from the CBS News. The question they ask is the United States in a recession? The article says, new figures show the United States economy shrank again, fueling a debate over whether or not the country is in a recession. Figures means statistics, data, right? So new data showed that the United States economy shrank again, right? Before this new data in America this year, there has been a discussion. Is America in a recession? This discussion was going on. Now we have new data, new figures. This information made this conversation more excited. More people are talking.
Okay, encouraging the discussion.
Exactly. To fuel the discussion means make the discussion go farther and farther and farther. Right, that's right. Okay, let's look at one more example. This one comes from the Irish Times. The headline reads, as taps run dry, Mexican drought fuels anger over water inequality. Okay, so taps means like the water faucet. What do you know what a drought is, Mia?
Yes, drought is a long period of time, like when there is little or no rain.
Perfect. This drought is happening right now, but before the drought, anger over water inequality. Do you know what water inequality means?
What is water inequality?
Recently in the world, there's an issue in developing countries where big companies like Nestle or Coca-Cola, they make a deal with the local government and they take over the local water. The government gives them the right to take the local water and make bottled water. But the local people lose their access to that water. And before the company came, that water was free. Now they have to pay for it. This is called water inequality. If in the United Nations and in the SDGs, this is a big issue. Already there's anger about this situation in Mexico, that they have this situation where a company like Nestle builds a plant and they create this inequality. But now there's a drought.
Yeah.
The drought is making this anger about this situation worse.
Yes.
Right? The drought is fueling the anger and people are becoming more angry about the situation that was already going on. Right? Okay, so in the article, it says there, Monterrey has been hit hard by a drought affecting nearly 60% of Mexico, where restrictions on domestic water use are fueling anger about water concessions. So water concessions means the government gives the rights of local water to companies.
Allowing them to use the local water.
Allowing the companies to use the local water. And that anger is the local people getting angry about that are becoming more angry.
I got it.
Got it? Okay, Mia, we've come to the end. We've done all three of our terms today. How do you feel?
Okay, I think students can understand the three words and phrases, and You've done.
All right. I hope you can understand it. And we'll be doing 2 more of these videos this term. I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you for all your work, Mia.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. And thank you all. We'll see you guys next time.